Miss,
Yes, Mr. Cooper.
you might want to take a look at that note.
And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. We're doing another Netflix original documentary review. I don't think you can really do spoilers with this one. If you know anything about the DB Cooper case or story that's been kind of spread over the years, then I think you'll be fairly familiar with what to expect. But you're probably hoping that you're going to see some new stuff or new content in this documentary. I wasn't very familiar. I'd heard the names. I'd seen portrayed or produced in various incarnations on film. I don't think I've ever watched a whole documentary or film. But I was interested to actually finally get to know what this was all about. Is it worth your while? Let's discuss. In 1971, a skyjacker parachutes off a plane with a bag of stolen cash and gets away with it. Decades later, his identity remains a compelling mystery. So going into this, I had little to no idea about this whole storyline, what it entailed. I knew kind of about the hijacking of the plane. I didn't even really know what was going on there. But obviously, that's where they start the first of the 4 episodes, which are about 45 minutes long. And I can say without a doubt that they could have shaved an episode. I think a 3-part episode would have been much better because they go over the same ground in a lot of ways. That's a negativity. To counterbalance that, the positive is I really like the way they edited this and the score that they have running throughout the episodes, because it really feels like a heist, which I think was the right way to go. Although there are some dark turns and dark story within the 4 episodes, it really does feel like you're investigating as they're putting together the puzzle pieces as everybody else investigates. You get to be the fly on the wall, what people have been spending their whole lifetimes almost investigating, an investigation over 50 years. You see how the FBI took it and where they went. You see how people spend a ridiculous amount of money, well, to me anyway, being obsessed with this. And you see how people think they know who it is, who they kind of caught the DB dude, DB Cooper. And you also see how Comic-Cons, DB Cooper cons, have spawned a new revenue source. And so you get to see all these walks of life, and I think it kind of celebrates that as well, celebrating people's enthusiasm for wanting to be the one that figures out who it was and catch him. I think that part of it is fun, and because of the way it's edited, because of the way it puts the investigation together with that sound, that score, that music, I think you're going to enjoy mostly what you're seeing, apart from when they cover the ground or repeat themselves. Even the intro theme for this is really fun, lighthearted, kind of makes you think of an Ocean's 11 sort of movie, but then you see a lot of documentary footage, you see original footage, different aspect ratios, and that keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting. I do feel a little bit let down by the end. I was hoping that there'll be a bigger fruition, a bigger reveal. So many of these documentaries really don't have new stuff to put in them. They just kind of package them in a different way. And there've been a number of DB documentaries already. Some are good apparently, some are not so good. There's been movies. There are places to go to where you can discuss everything, which is covered in this. I think this more almost celebrates the people of the DB Coopercons, the people that became obsessed with his story of wanting to find it, and the joy they find out of that. Well, joy, definitely joy, but also obsession. I think that was interesting to watch, but it doesn't really give you any light. It doesn't really kind of stick the landing going, this is what we believe happened, this is who the person is, how they did it, how they got away with it. They spend a whole episode, more than a whole episode, saying it was probably this guy, without doing spoilers, and then they move on to perhaps not. So they never really throw all of their fish into one bucket and say, yeah, this is what we believe it is. Weird saying for me, fish into one bucket. Of all the sayings I could have chosen. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I think they could have shaved off an episode. I think if you're into investigations and these conspiracies, I think you're going to find this informative, although you might, like with me, wish it was a bit quicker. But you'll enjoy the editing style, the music, the people involved in it. I don't think you should expect anything massively new under the sun. I think this kind of repackages everything and kind of puts it in a nice little neat bow and go, here you go, this is kind of what we've had all already. Now make up your own mind as to who you think and what went on. So it's a kind of a short, sharp, sweet review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It does help me out loads. We've got loads of content coming out this week. I would rate this 3 Nicolas Cages out of 5. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. If you want to do it financially, there's a little thanks button near the comments where you can just kind of get your message jumped up to the top. That helps us keep going, to be more creative, have more fun with this channel, and maybe one day I'll be a real boy.
I'm not a puppet. I'm a real boy.
Don't forget, there are another 2 interesting reviews, one over here and one over here. Thanks so much for watching, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long on Tuesday.